Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watchbox, and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, tmosso@thewatchbox.com. It's in the description below. Your purchase and pricing email question line for buying this or any watch you see on any Watchbox platform. Please reach out to me directly. Email tmosso@thewatchbox.com for pricing. Today we're discussing an uncommon Rolex Oyster Perpetual Day-Date. This is the reference 118208, and I'll talk about all the reasons this is an uncommon day-date. But let's talk about the one feature that is relatively common: its size. The classic 36mm Day-Date is launched in 1956. You can see it's 36 in diameter, 12.3 millimeters thick. It is 43.1 millimeters from lug tip to lug tip, and if you include the solid end links of the Oyster bracelet, the total distance across the wrist is 47 millimeters, and it has a 20 millimeter spacing between the lugs. It fits conventionally. All the unconventional elements of this watch are aesthetic, and we'll focus on those details, but the big thing that you need to know is that it'll fit on a wrist as small as 13 centimeters circumference. My wrist is 16 centimeters circumference for reference. Here's your cuff shot. It has a domed bezel, so it slides easily underneath a dress sleeve. The lugs are nowhere near the edge of my wrist, and you can see the same in the over-the-top shot. Taking a quick look at the bracelet, I should mention Rolex has its own foundry. It makes its own gold. It makes its own clasps, bracelets, and cases. So this watch is all Rolex. Oyster-style bracelet, not common on a day-date. That's our first uncommon feature. It's a full gold, full bracelet, polished flank, polished center, satinated shoulder bracelet, removable links fixed by screws. You can see it retains the crown clasp of the president bracelet that's more commonly associated with the watch. So you have a partition point demarcated only by the 5-point coronet, and it is a modern version of the crown clasp. So there's actually a beacon hook system. It's not friction fit like the old ones. You actually have to unlatch it before it will open, so you get that extra measure of security. Internally, you can see the clasp is fully polished, and rolling over to the case, you can see much like the Datejust, the Daytona, and the Yachtmaster, the Day-Date has not gone the super case route. It still has a lovely fluid compound curved case form, tapered graceful lug profiles, polished on the top as well as the flank. The second unusual element here is that we have a domed bezel. Typically gold Rolex bezels are fluted. This one is domed, giving it a little bit of a neo bubble back look, reminiscent of the original Oyster Perpetuals from the 40s and the 50s and the 30s. The timepiece features a twin lock crown, screw down, 100 meters water resistant, and then underneath the sapphire crystal we have a Jubilee dial. That's what this dial is called. The Rolex pattern is called the Jubilee dial, and while most Rolex dials will be standard coloration, this one is a sort of eggshell off-white. It also features unusual applique yellow gold 18-karat radially arrayed Arabic numerals with an inverted 6. So those two features, the off-white Jubilee dial and the positioning of the Arabic numerals, very unusual. Otherwise, mechanically, the watch is fairly conventional. Solid case back, we have Rolex caliber 3155 inside, automatic winding, bi-directional action, 48-hour power reserve, 31 joules, 8 beats per second. There's a double quick set, so you can quick set both the day and the date, and it has hacking seconds. It is a COSC certified Swiss chronometer. For shock tolerance, it has a full balance bridge and a free sprung balance, which not only makes it tough, but also easy to regulate precisely. It features a Breguet overcoil hairspring made by hand, so in all 5 of the standard tested chronometer positions, it will enjoy concentric breathing of the hairspring. The overcoil with centered mass does not gain or lose time in different positions. Rolex, of course, tests the cased up movement to ensure that it still exceeds the COSC standards as a fully assembled watch. And again, 100-meter water resistant, so though it is a dress watch, it is a swimmable dress watch. And finally, of course, the timepiece is very refined with a jeweled staff winding system and Teflon-coated reversing wheels, as well as bidirectional winding to ensure that you can barely feel or hear the heartbeat of the winding system. The watch, yes, you can hear the Swiss lever, but not the winding system that energizes it. Reach out to Team Mosso at thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details.